True Crime and Paranormal podcast. I'm Grace.
And I'm Katie.
And we are alive.
Yes, and happy Thanksgiving to
Oh,
all of
yes.
our U.S. population.
Heck yeah, baby. I already had pie today.
Love that. Starting off strong. It is the day before we release this, so for you, it's
Yeah.
yesterday. You, the listeners. For us,
Yeah,
it's right now.
I stopped at Whole Foods and they have gluten-free pie. I have to bring a pie to a Friendsgiving on Monday, so I got one of those.
Fun.
An apple pie. It's for the other job.
Mhm.
Then the pie I bought for myself is a pumpkin pie, and they had like fresh whipped cream that they made.
Oh,
So I was
that
like,
was
I
so
have to
good.
buy it. I have
Yes.
to. And then in my head, I'm like, Grace, you don't need this. Your doctor just told you have high blood pressure. And I'm out here like, fuck it.
Not a today problem. You know what? Thanksgiving doesn't count. All your health concerns out the window.
That's what I thought. Literally, I'm like, you know what? Nothing matters until after Thanksgiving.
Until it's a serious problem, and then we will address it.
Until the pie is gone. The pie comes first.
That's like the time. The clock is the pie.
Yeah, literally. It's like once the pie's out, then I'll get my shit together, guys.
Love that.
But that's about it for me. How are you?
Good.
Any news updates for the listeners?
No, I mean my mom
Says
is
my
here.
gray hair.
Oh wait, yeah. I just didn't know that Grace was gray this whole time. Apparently,
I thought we were friends, but I guess not.
I know. That's how good you are at hiding it. I know you had some gray hairs.
Oh, I had his. Oh my gosh, my background is showing. No,
don't look. Nobody look.
No. How do I fix it?
I didn't even realize. If you go down to,
what if I hit this button? Visual effects cannot be changed while recording.
Well, you have to stay in that position
God
the whole time.
Damn it!
You can pause it. You can pause it.
Okay, let me pause, guys.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're back.
We're back. She's blurred her background. Forget that you saw any of that, okay?
Literally, because it was... I can't turn my neck that far, but that side of the house is bad.
I didn't even notice. That's too
It's
funny.
like I saw my hand move, and I was like, no! I can see behind my hand!
You're like, wait a minute, what's that?
Like, who put that there? No, anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Your mama is visiting for the holiday.
Yes, and there is an update that I wanted to talk
about. Update time.
So, we covered this case. Don't make me say when we covered it, because I don't know. But we covered the Slender Man case.
Yes.
Many moons ago. And one of the girls who was part of the stabbing, the one that actually did the stabbing, Morgan Geyser, was released. We talked about that she was coming up for release. And so she had like a monitor, and she was part of a group home, and then she fled the group home, cut off her monitor, fled the group home, and she left with a 43-year-old man. This happened Saturday night. Police said they were notified around 10:30 p.m.
What?
Yep.
Because that's obviously breaking parole.
Yep. And Sunday, she was taken into custody in Illinois, and officers were dispatched to Thornton's truck stop for a report of a man and woman loitering behind the building. When officers arrived, they found people sleeping on the sidewalk. The female repeatedly refused to provide her real name and initially gave a false one. After continued attempts to identify her, she finally stated that she didn't want to tell officers who she was because she had done something really bad, and suggested that the officers could Google her name. Anyway, she's back in custody.
Thank God. Well, it sounds like, I'm assuming she's not going to she's just going to go back to prison, right? If you fuck up that badly, I feel like.
Geyser appeared in court Monday and was ordered to be detained at the Cook County Jail. The Cook County State Attorney's Office said in a statement that an out-of-state warrant from Wisconsin was executed, and her next court date is Tuesday, so today, in Chicago. They told reporters that the district attorney told reporters that her office does not have jurisdiction in Geyser's case, as her group home is in a different county. The decision to charge Geyser in relation with the escape would fall to officials in Dane County.
No, he's passing the buck.
Yeah, it says a petition to revoke Geyser's conditional release in light of her recent events would have to be filed by the state, which will probably happen. So we
How
will
long has
see.
she been in? How long ago did this happen? Like, not her escaping. I meant the original crime,
Had to be like 10 years ago because it
right?
was when she was in sixth grade, so maybe even longer, maybe
Yeah.
10, 11 years
Okay.
ago.
That's fine. I mean,
Yep.
I'm just guesstimating.
Yep.
Dang, that's crazy.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had no idea. So obviously,
Yep.
my news is not reliable because I don't see any of that stuff.
It's okay. You're in the happier side of social media.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I'm in the meme side. I'm in that. For anyone who's listening and or watching, there's a TikTok that I cannot stop laughing about, and it's the turkey. It's like a felt turkey dancing,
I was just
and he
about the
gobbles.
that one. I literally was about to send more because I've seen it for the 18th time, and I was
Yeah,
about to be like, I can't stop laughing at this fucking sound. Where it's like
literally.
people, me this week when people try to email me at work or whatever it is.
Yeah, because I
Um,
think you and I both sent it to each other on TikTok,
mm-hmm.
but I have sent it to all of my coworkers now, and
Yeah,
I said nobody's allowed to message me tomorrow. And literally, my boss was like, "This is hilarious. How do you download this turkey?"
oh
And
my
I was like, "I
gosh.
don't know." I was like, "I
Is
found it on TikTok."
is this the
Like, it's,
one that believes in Mothman?
yeah,
I love him.
he doesn't only believe in Mothman; he believes he could fucking kill Mothman, like
Okay.
in a fist fight.
Okay, big guy.
That's literally his whole thing. So he hunts a lot, but he like
Hmm.
literally has this mindset where he's gonna find every cryptid and fight it with his bare hands, and then drink
I
a
love
Jack
that.
Daniels afterwards with a like as a cheers to himself.
I love that. Please
If he
tell him
ever
to
listens
report
to
back.
this, incredible. But
Yeah, amazing. We're rooting
for
for
him,
one or the other, you know?
I'm rooting for him. I think he could take Mothman. I don't think Mothman's that strong.
No, he is. He has a six pack, don't we? We've talked about
I
this.
mean, yeah, but like, I don't know. I mean, this guy is ex-military.
All right. Well, tell him to report back.
I
We
will.
need
I'll keep
we
you
need
posted.
proof. He needs to provide proof, and then we can congratulate him.
I'll ask him to send me the photo of him in front of the Mothman statue.
Yes.
It's literally him like
That's amazing.
his whole family's like in the photo and they're just
They're like, "Why are we here?"
like Dad, stop.
Dad, please.
Anyways. Okay, doke. What are you covering this week?
Okay, I made Grace choose actually. She just unknowingly did it. I told her to choose the
Ooh.
two numbers between 1 and 5 because we have 5 different Canadian urban legends that we could cover. And so we are covering
Ooh.
number 3 and number 5, and this comes directly from mysteriesofcanada.com. We're starting off with number 3, The Chilling Tale of Coughlin's Coffin.
Ooh, okay.
Says if you've ever immersed yourself in a collection of regional ghost stories, which truly I haven't done enough of, you may have come across tales in which the spirits of the dead appear to have reached out from the great beyond. We have seen this before, you guys.
We have.
Um, exerting some influence on our mortal plane for the purpose of ensuring the proper treatment of their earthly remains. The phantom of a woman who died in a hiking accident, for example, will attract the attention of an outdoor adventurer, pointing toward her body hidden at the bottom of a ravine before vanishing into thin air. The spirit of a murder victim buried in the masonry of some historic manor will make scratching noises from the hollow in which his bones are entombed. One tale from northern Canada tells the ghost of a fur trader who verbally guided his undertakers through the boreal wilderness, barking orders at the sled dogs, apparently with the aim of preserving his frozen corpse from the predations of nearby wolves. And the preserved cadaver of one of the victims of the SS Kamloops, a freighter which sank in Lake Superior in 1927, is said to approach divers who visit his watery grave. I think we've covered that actually in one of our
I think we
ship,
did Lake Erie, didn't we?
but I think we've covered general hauntings, and I think we may
Oh,
have
yeah.
covered one where if it's not him, there's a similar story where
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
approach divers. So, one tale which evokes the eerie motif is that of a Victorian thespian whose corpse is said to have made a ghastly voyage of 2,000 miles to the very spot at which he hoped to be buried, almost as if guided by actor's spirit. In this piece, we will explore the chilling tale of Coughlin's Coffin.
I'm ready.
Canada has a long history of exporting some of its most talented actors, musicians, and performers to the more profitable United States. This tradition extends back to
Schitt's
the
Creek.
days,
Sorry, I just had to say Schitt's
yes,
Creek.
back to the days of Charles Coughlin, a classically trained theater actor said to have been born in Prince Edward Island, Canada's smallest province. After studying theater in England, Coughlin was brought to America by New York manager Augustin Daly, on whose Broadway stage he performed Shakespearean comedies and other theatrical dramas. The Victorian actor would enjoy a long and successful career in the land of opportunity, which culminated in an 1898 performance of a play of his own composition based on Alexandre Dumas' French language dramatic biography of English actor Edward Kean.
That was a
Wow,
mouthful.
it really was. Although he toured the world, wrote folklorist Sterling Ramsay in his 1973 book Folklore, Prince Edward Island, the island always remained his beloved haven. The anonymous author of an article in the January 1962 issue of the magazine Fate elaborated on the actor's undying love for his home province, adding, "He never forgot, nor did he allow his friends to forget, what a gypsy fortune teller once told him, that he would die in an American southern city, but that eternal rest would come to him only in the place of his birth, Prince Edward Island." The last detail is borne out by a line from his fellow thespian, Lily Langtry, in her 1925 autobiography, The Days I Knew, which identifies the gypsy as a crystal gazer who made the prediction while Coughlin was a young man. On November 27th, 1899, while preparing for the misfortune, nope, I don't know what is happening to me. That's not even
It'd be like that.
close to
We're
the
close to
word.
Turkey Day.
Yeah.
We're close to Turkey Day. We let it slide.
Insert the meme of the turkey. Literally.
If you can somehow find it, Godspeed.
That would be amazing. Okay. If it's there, amazing. If not, we'll continue. Starting that sentence over on November 27th, 1899, while preparing for a performance in the island boomtown of Galveston, Texas, in the Gulf of Mexico, 55-year-old Charles Coughlin fell ill and died of heart failure in his hotel room. Contemporary newspapers indicate that he had suffered from acute gastritis or inflammation of the stomach. Fair.
Get it.
For a month prior to his death, and that perhaps being related to the alleged alcoholism he developed after his own scandalous divorce 5 years earlier. His body was sealed in a lead-lined coffin in preparation for future shipments to the town of Souris, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Prince Edward Island, where he owned a summer home and was to be buried. When his widow expressed a desire to have his remains cremated in St. Louis, allegedly in accordance with Coughlin's own wishes, his casket was interred in an above-ground concrete vault in Galveston's Lakeview Cemetery to await clearer instructions. They're like, hold on.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't trust. I don't know. I don't trust any of this.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why you have to have a will.
Yeah, and then I have a question about. We'll come back to it. Never mind.
Okay. In the first day of autumn 1900, what is wrong with me? 9 months after Coughlin's death, a terrific hurricane swept up the Gulf of Mexico and descended on the city of Galveston, washing away bridges and downing telegraph poles in what was the deadliest natural disaster in American history. At least 6,000 Americans are believed to have perished in the storm,
Holy shit.
and the modern equivalent of, sorry, I had to count the zeros. I think it's $1.07 billion worth of damage was incurred in the Galveston area alone.
Oof.
Galveston Lakeview Cemetery, the transient resting place of Charles Coughlin, was not spared the rapid flooding and 140-mile-per-hour winds, which wreaked havoc upon the rest of the town. The damage wrought in the city's 6 graveyards was described in an article in September 20th, 1900 issue of the St. Louis Daily Globe Democrat. In the cemeteries of Galveston were vaults made of stone and brick and cement. They were little houses, with shelves or niches upon which rested the caskets. Some of the finest of these residences of the dead, as well as some of the humbler, were wrecked by the hurricane. They were ruins of wood, masonry, and metal.
And I bet bodies just everywhere, but
oh, yeah. Although some caskets were later found lying at some distance from the shattered mausoleums in which they were once reposed, others were never recovered, apparently having been swept away into the Gulf of Mexico. As reported in various contemporary newspapers, one of the missing coffins was that of Charles Coughlin, for which a thorough but fruitless search was made. Coughlin's fellow actor, Sir Johnston Forbes Robertson, recorded the bizarre sequel to this tragedy in his 1925 autobiography, A Player Under Three Remains. Nope, Three Reigns. The Gulf.
I'm sorry. This is killing me because usually it's me that's doing
It's every
this.
paragraph. What? Like, did I forget how to read?
You know, it'd be like that sometimes, Katie. You're okay. I just am
Okay.
happy because it's not just me. Usually I'm reading. I'm like,
It's fine if it's once, but 8 times an episode? Like, fucking pull it together. I'm still in the first urban legend. We haven't even gotten to the fucking urban legend part yet.
you're doing great, sweetie.
Amazing. Okay. Begin.
No, we should keep all that in. I think it's
We're
funny.
keeping it in. All right, enjoy. At this point, I don't have time to edit, you guys. My mom is here.
Our
I'm
mom's
just
here.
throwing it all up there.
Hell yeah.
So, anyways, in his autobiography, he said, quote, the Gulf Stream bore him round Florida up the coast about 1,500 miles. Here, continued Sterling Ramsay, in the vicinity of Newfoundland, it somehow left the current and drifted aimlessly along the coast of eastern Canada, subject to wind and wave. 8 years later, in October of 1908, fishermen from Prince Edward Island headed out into the Gulf of St. Lawrence off the island's northern shores. While casting their nets, they spotted a strange oblong object floating on the waves, which they promptly
No.
towed to shore. The object proved to be a coffin encrusted with barnacles and seashells, which had evidently been adrift for many years. Hoping to identify the occupant of the grisly vessel, they pried the coffin open. Inside was the body of a middle-aged man whose name was engraved on a silver plate, Charles Francis Coughlin. The islander
Shut up.
had finally returned home, just as the fortune teller predicted.
That's
Coughlin's
insane. Sorry. Holy fuck. Okay.
Especially everything we know about the ocean. Like, how many times have we talked about how, like, things are never found? Entire planes are never found.
This doesn't even sound real. Like, that's how insane it is.
That's why, I mean, they don't even know for sure, right? It's an urban legend, but it's a great story. So Coughlin's body was brought to the nearest village, which proved to be the very same village in which the actor had been born, and laid to rest in the churchyard. The yard of the very same church in which he had been baptized. Quote, somehow across the trackless sea, Charles had come home to stay, unquote. Or so the story goes. In fact, the ghastly odyssey of Coughlin's coffin is an urban legend first printed by Sir Johnston Forbes Robertson's 1925 autobiography, and then made famous by a 1927 cartoon drawn by Robert Ripley, founder of Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, shit.
Which first appeared in September 15th, 1927 issue of the New York Evening Post. Ripley's cartoon depicts a forlorn casket washed up on the beach of some maritime cove. A handwritten caption reads, quote, the actor Charles Coughlin comes home. He died in 1897, actually 1899, and was buried in Galveston when the tragic flood came. His coffin was washed out to sea, and the Gulf Stream carried him around Florida and up the coast to Prince Edward Island, 2,000 miles distance where he was born. Although Charles Coughlin did own a summer home on the Fortune River just west of the town that he was born in, Prince Edward Island, at the time of his death, he was actually born in Paris, France, to parents of Irish and English extraction. His lead-lined casket, which was indeed washed out to sea by the Galveston hurricane, was repeatedly discovered in January 1907 in a lonely Texan marsh about 10 miles from the Lakeview Cemetery, and his body was later brought to New York by his family for cremation.
Wait, so what's real?
The second one is real.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But the
How do we
story is
know?
great. You're right. Show me the body.
How'd they
No,
know?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, right?
I don't trust it. I'm going with the first story.
I agree.
That's great. I mean, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like upsetting. You're just like, well, actually.
I know.
Like, damn it. Oh, man. Okay, so next one.
So the next one that Grace chose, and I'm going to do my best, is called The Vanished Village of Angikuni Lake.
Ooh, this sounds scary.
It says deep in the Keewatin Barrens of what is now the territory. Did you pick the hardest one? No, I'm just kidding. The territory of Nunavut, amid an endless plain of tundra, lies lonely Angikuni Lake, once a one of a myriad of nearly identical watering holes, which dot the historic homeland of the Inuit and Chippewan nations. Although the nondescript body of water, with its residents' population of caribou, black flies, and tundra wolves, bears no outward characteristics
The
which
fuck is
might
a tundra
distinguish.
wolf?
I'll
That
Google it
sounds
and I'll
horrible.
put a picture up somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds scary as hell.
I know. It bears no outward characteristic which might distinguish it from its many cousins. It happens to lie near the junction of two ancient trade routes which connect Hudson Bay with the Arctic Ocean. It also serves as the setting of one of Canada's spookiest urban legends. On November 25th, 1930, isn't today the 25th?
It is.
Yeah. Like
It is.
that is bizarre. Okay.
Love it.
A disturbing article appeared in the Muncie Evening Press, a newspaper based out of the city of Muncie, Indiana, and a front page piece
That's from Parks
complete
and
with.
Rec. Sorry,
Is
I
it
got
really?
excited. Yeah, that's a city, one of the cities they talk about in Parks and Rec a lot.
Thank God I pronounced it right. I was
You did
guessing.
so good.
Thank you so much. And a front page piece complete with three photos, journalist Emmett Keller, a reporter for the newspaper Enterprise Association, based out of the northern frontier city of Le Pas, Manitoba, describes the mysterious disappearance of an Inuit village on the shores of northerly Angikuni Lake. Quote, far up in the heart of one of the most lonely places on earth, in the Lake Angikuni country, a whole tribe of Eskimos has vanished. Somewhere, somehow, the endless desolation of Canada's northern barren lands has swallowed up to 25 men, women, and children. It is one of the most puzzling mysteries that has ever come down out of the Arctic. The news of it has just reached the Pa on the fringe of civilization. Keller went on to explain how a white man, can't be
Mm.
trusted, named Joe LaBelle, whom he described as a roving trapper of the Barren Lands, came upon the tribe's abandoned camp while crossing the lake in his canoe. Long before he paddled ashore, LaBelle knew that something was very wrong. Instead of the lively hum of activity which typically surrounds Inuit camps, the only humming in evidence was that of black flies, which swarmed about the bodies of 7 sled dogs scattered throughout the grounds. When he hailed the camp's unseen occupants, he was greeted by 2 half starved huskies, which rose up on skeletal legs and slunk toward him, substituting the lusty barks by which Inuit sled dogs typically address strangers with pitiful whines. Suspecting that the village had fallen victim to some terrible disease, LaBelle walked over to one of the 7 rag tents that comprised the camp and cautiously drew open the caribou skin door. Quote, I'll admit that when I went in the first tent, I was a little jumpy. Just looking around, I could see the place hadn't known any human life for months, and I expected to find corpses inside. But there was nothing there but the personal belongings of a family. A couple of deer parkas were in the corner. Fish and deer bones were scattered about. There were a few pairs of boots and an iron pot, greasy and black. Under one of the parkas, I found a rifle. It had been there so long that it was all rusty. The whole thing looked as if it had just been left. I lost my spot. It had
So, what year was this?
1930.
Okay.
So it had just been left by the people who expected to come back, but they never came back. The trapper examined another tent, which had been torn to ribbons by the wind. Inside, he found 3 foxskins and a rusty rifle, and he would say those 2 rifles seemed strange. The last thing an Eskimo parts with is his rifle. Try as he might, LaBelle was unable to find any clue as to the fate of the vanished Inuit. There were no signs of trouble or violence. The only thing of interest, he noted, was the empty stone. I'm like, am I Karen? Cairn?
Karen? Empty
Okay.
stone Karen? That
By the,
sounds like a word.
yeah, okay, we're going with it. This is
Let's do it.
chaos. Let's do it. Okay, by the lake shore, which he tentatively identified as a desecrated Inuit grave. LaBelle told Keller that the whole scene brought to mind the Tornrark, an evil spirit of the Inuit legend, sometimes depicted as an ugly man with tusks, whose predations uh, the natives attempt to ward off with charms. The demon was likely an inland iteration of a deity which the Greenlandic Inuit called Torngarsuk.
Wait, have we talked about that before?
No, but we've talked about something similar.
Okay. I
Yep.
just had a remembery. Got it.
No. Which some anthropologies have equated with the devil, shaking off the unsettling notion that the village had fallen prey to that pre. Nope, to that predator. The trapper caught some fish in the lake, fed them to the two starving dogs, and fled the area. Why didn't you take the dogs with him?
I mean, they're probably going to hold him back.
That's true. And I guess, like, what if they do come back? I mean, it doesn't seem like they will, but uh, so because he didn't want to spend the night, that's why he's like, I'm getting the
Yeah,
fuck
I
out
wouldn't
of
spend the
here.
night either. I'd be like, bye, bitch, gotta go.
Yeah, and it says Joe LaBelle admits that stumbling upon the abandoned village gave him the creeps, quote unquote, Keller concluded. Quote, a
The
man
creep.
doesn't get the creeps readily when he spends months at a time trudging by his lone across the barren lands, where there is never a house or a human being to break the white-rimmed silence. But Joe LaBelle got creepy. Nope, yeah. But Joe LaBelle got creepy just the same. The empty
Like
sky.
creeped out, just
Yeah.
the same.
The empty sky and the silent rocky plain held a mystery, and the trapper didn't like it. So, following his disturbing discovery, LaBelle traveled throughout the surrounding tundra, visiting several Inuit camps along the way. None of the natives he met were able to shed any light on the fate of their missing kinsmen, supposing as he had that they had probably been taken by the Tornvark. Certain that the villagers had met some untimely end, the trapper proceeded to Le Pas, where he reported his discovery to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. With the help of local trappers, the Mounties launched a search for the missing Inuit, but were unable to find any sign of them. The only potential clues they managed to unearth came in the form of a 10-year-old Inuit boy of mysterious origins who wandered into another Inuit camp 150 miles north of the lake.
The
And
fuck?
and an Inuit man named Sawamek, who was suspected to know something about the fate of the vanished villagers. Now I'm having a moment where I'm like, this is sounding suspiciously
No,
familiar.
but I'm also like, what is happening?
So they, and
150 miles? Okay, sorry,
I
continue.
know. So they interrogate this man using an interpreter. It says, but Sawamek refused to talk about it, Keller wrote,
The
mentioning
10-year-old?
Tornmark. No, this is another man, a man
Oh,
that
okay.
they thought may be involved. Mentioning Tornmark mysteriously and refusing to answer any questions. In the 93 years that have preceded the publication of Keller's article, the story of the vanishing village of Angikuni Lake has appeared in dozens of books, TV programs on the unexplained, often being presented as a true historical mystery. Indeed, many of the story's trappings are grounded in reality. Emma E. Keller was a real Northern journalist who, despite subsequent disparagements of his work and character, wrote a series of articles on Northern Canadian news, covering, for example, the famous 1929 search for the McAlpine expedition, a party of aerial prospectors who became stranded in the middle of the northern tundra during a severe storm. Joe LaBelle was a real trapper who plied his trade in the wilderness north of, I'm not making this up, okay? When I say it, just know, Flin
Okay.
Flon, Manitoba.
I love that you knew to give a warning.
I'm like, this is for Grace, not the listeners, okay?
All right, anyways.
Angikuni Lake is a real lake which does have a mysterious stone cairn on its shores. This structure, incidentally, was rediscovered by Canadian wildlife biologist and author Farley Mowat in 1948, who described it in his 1961 book, Ordeal by Ice, writing that it was, quote, was not of normal Eskimo construction, unquote, and proposing that it was erected by either Hudson Bay Company explorer Samuel Hearne, who visited the lake in 1770, or perhaps by Captain Francis Crozier, a member of the ill-fated Franklin expedition, who in 1848 vanished without a trace, along with 105 of his men, somewhere in the Arctic wilderness. That's
So,
fascinating. Um, but the story itself, at least according to the RCMP, is a fabrication.
no. I refuse.
Yeah. Um, so it says that the Mounties' first public rebuttal to Keller's story was allegedly made less than 2 months after the article's first publication in the Muncie Evening Press. According to the prolific Canadian paranormal writer John Robert Colombo, in his 1988 book, Mysteries of Canada, Sergeant John Nelson of the RCMP's Le Pas Department investigated the alleged vanishing in the wake of the story's circulation and submitted his report on January 5th, 1931. 12 days later, RCMP Commissioner Cortland Starnes made Nelson report public. Although this author has been unable to locate a copy of the report, Colombo republished the excerpts in his book. According to the report, Nelson investigation consisted of speaking with a trader by the name of D. Simons, who operated an independent trading post on the shores of Windy Lake. That's what it's called. About 150 miles south of Lake Angikuni. Simons had not heard any reports of a vanishing village from the reliable white and native trappers with whom he did business and expressed doubt that such an event had taken place. Nelson then determined that the photo of the caribou skin tents displayed in Color's article did not depict abandoned lodges at Lake Angikuni, but had actually been taken back in 1909 in Fort Churchill, Manitoba, by an ex-Mountie named P. Rose. Although Nelson did not visit Lake Angikuni himself, nor interview any of the Inuit in the area, he was sufficiently confident to conclude his report by declaring that the story was, to his mind, a work of fiction, adding that Mr. Keller, in habit of writing colorful stories of the North and very little credence can be given to his article.
No, I don't believe it.
Although Sergeant Nelson's investigation was arguably far from thorough, it was enough for the RCMP to close the case on the vanished village of Lake Angikuni. The Mounties' official position on the story has been borne out by the responses received by several researchers who have made formal inquiries into the case over the years, including Ronald G. Dobbins, who was told that the RCMP could not find any mention of the case in their records, and Dwight Whalen, who included his own debunking of the Lake Angikuni story in his article Vanished Village Revisited, which was published in the November of 1976 issue of magazine Fate. Today, the RCMP has a short paragraph on the mystery of Lake Angikuni on their official website, declaring flatly, quote, "The story about the disappearance of the 1930s of an Inuit village near Lake Angikuni is not true. Despite its official debunking, the vanished the vanished village of Lake Angikuni, as mentioned, has been repeatedly presented as a genuine historical mystery in both print and television, often acquiring new details with each retelling." In his 1959 book, Stranger Than Science, American writer and radio broadcaster Frank Edwards wrote that one of the tents which LaBelle examined contained a child-sized sealskin garment in the process of being mended. The ivory needle used to do the sewing was still embedded in the skin. So basically, even though people have tried to debunk it, people still tell this over and over. And
Okay,
go ahead.
I have thoughts. Wait, are you
Okay,
done?
I'm done.
Okay, so I looked up Angikuni Lake on Google Maps.
Yeah.
It has 23 4.7-star reviews.
Okay. Love that.
But this one person wrote, "It's not at all inconceivable that the 25 Inuit, completely compelled to hastily abandon their camp on account of some extraordinary circumstance, might have lost their way and perished in the vast barrens." And then there's like other people here saying that like we believe what actually happened, but no one has pictures. But I don't know. I
I'm
also didn't
just
realize how
saying.
big the lake was.
Well, all I'm saying is that the people that went in to debunk this are just fun suckers.
Oh God, here we go. How do I? Look how big that
I can
is.
see it. That is big.
It's a big ass lake.
My
Also,
cat just.
this is like really far up in Canada.
Let me see. Can you back it up?
Yeah, I am. Like, you could not walk there.
I could not walk there.
Because
You
here's
couldn't at least.
Manitoba. Like, the
Yeah,
border for Manitoba is here.
that's crazy.
So then this is up in the land called, what'd you call it? How'd you call it? Nunavut? Nunavut Land Claims Agreement, Arviat Inuit owned land.
Hmm.
I butchered that probably. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
So this makes me think of, I have a friend. I don't know if they listen to our podcast, but her family, she grew up doing these like 2 to 3 week trips in northern Canada every year, every summer.
Yeah,
And it would be like completely off the grid. They would take like a boat
that's
plane to
scary.
somewhere, and then they would have canoes and rafts, and they would basically travel down some river for weeks,
That's
right?
crazy.
And you fend like you had to eat off the land. They would like, set up camp every night, all these stuff. But she would always tell me, she was like, Canada is so desolate that you just don't realize how creepy it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like determined to figure out where it is, because I'm like, all these places, I'm like looking at cities right now,
Mm-hmm.
like all of them seem creepy, gonna be honest. Like, I bet they're nice places. Some of them are nice places, I bet.
We've sufficiently creeped Grace out.
Okay, like I just clicked on this random city, right? It's called
Mm-hmm.
Leaf Rapids in Manitoba, Canada.
Okay.
Leaf Rapids is a town in northwest Manitoba. The town was developed using an experimental model that emphasized modern convenience and luxury in the northern environment. The community is located approximately 1,000 kilometers north of Winnipeg and along the Churchill River. So then you go to look at the pictures and you're like, there is no way that this place, I mean, population 351 as of 2021.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like creepy looking. I'll show you a picture. I'm like, this was their like high tech living. So
Super.
then it's just like, it's just all one big building, like a library.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then creepy aerial footage. I'm like, what is this?
That
Anyways,
probably is like luxury living because the more north you go, the harder it is to have like those basic things.
anything. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, got to go to this place. This place is called Kunusua. I want to know what happened to you. What do you guys? I'm like, now I just want to like do a whole episode just looking at these little cities.
We can. We can do whatever we want.
I want to know if anyone that is listening and or watching has ever been to like some crazy north city of Canada. Like, the farthest I have gone is basically Toronto. So
I'll ask
not
people
far.
around here too. How far have you gone in Canada? Tell me about the most
Literally,
secluded area of Canada that you've been to.
like, this place is called La Pensy, and it's an uninhabited locality and former trading post.
That's creepy.
Like, don't like that. Not a fan. Also, like, what's above Canada? Just more unincorporated land, right? Until you get to freaking, what sea is that? Like
Don't
Baffin
ask
Bay.
questions.
Sorry, I'm like now in Greenland. I've moved on. I'm in a lot of different places.
It's like I've moved on from Canada,
Well, like,
actually.
is the Yukon Peninsula part of Canada?
Stop asking me questions. I don't have
I'm gonna
any
look it
answers
up.
for
I'm
you.
gonna look it
Okay.
up.
I'm like, I have no comment.
Because I thought Yukon Territory, it is in Canada. I'm thinking of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. God damn it, Grace. Get it together. Anywho, sorry guys, I got us off track there. Was there
Okay.
anything else you wanted to touch on for this one? Besides the fact that I have
Um,
so many questions?
no. Now I'm looking at all the places too.
I wonder how hard it would be to get to that lake. Probably not easy.
I
Like,
mean,
shockingly, it didn't show up as like a flight.
you
Let me hit
probably have
directions and see
to.
what happens from my house. It says, oh, I cannot get there, is what it
Wait, I'm
says.
gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Hold on. It's like,
Yeah,
let me
you're in
try and
Canada. You're
actually.
closer. You're a bit closer. There's like tiny little baby lakes near everything too. Lots of bodies of water.
Yeah, I can't even walk there apparently.
I guess you can't because it's considered like Inuit land, so maybe they don't have. You know what I mean?
What's like close to there?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, you can't just go on to native land, I don't think.
right. No, you can't.
You need to have permission, which is how it should be.
No, listen, I agree. I'm just like, I'm trying to see like what the northernmost. Here we go. People are probably like already turned off. They're like, this fucking podcast sucks.
You probably would have to fly into.
We could go to the Caribou River Park Reserve.
Amazing.
How do I get there? Let's see if I can get directions. Nope, I can't.
No, I think because that's also kind of gray. Like we'd have to fly into like Fort Hall.
And then like drive. We'll hike. Do you think Fort Hall has a airport?
No.
I was gonna say it's not even letting me Google to get to there.
How about just Manitoba? How do we get to Manitoba is the question.
Google's not letting me even get to Manitoba. And Manitoba's a big city. How do you get there?
Manitoba is like the province.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like the city that's because isn't the city
Winnipeg would be the city?
What is it called?
Winnipeg, but it's really far south in Manitoba.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Winnipeg. Yeah, that would take us a long time. It says for me to drive from Florida to Winnipeg is going to take me 34 hours.
It would take me 23. 23 hours to drive, 1 day, and 10 hours to take a train, and 19 days to walk, and 5 days to bike. They have some solid.
I was going to say, they're walking, like, that's a very fast pace.
Well, can we talk about the biking 5 days? I'm like, you really believe in my ability to bike continuously.
Yeah, that's wild.
And it says winter snow warning, snow squall watch. Use caution, bicycling directions may not always reflect real world conditions. This route includes a ferry. This route crosses through the United States of America. This route has restricted usage of private roads. Your destination is in a different time zone.
I love all the warnings. It's like, wait, hold on. Have you thought about this?
It's like, hey, do you really think this is a good idea? And it's like every few meters, it's like you're turning. This is not an easy route, okay? Let me tell you. No, I don't actually want to bike there.
Anywho, okay, we should probably end this while we're ahead.
We are so far behind. I think people have already left.
Yeah, if you're still here, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. I hope that you were following along on your Google Maps as you looked at these places with us.
Yeah.
But if not, you can just listen to us ramble about it instead. Mm-hmm. If you liked what you had to hear today, minus all that random shit at the end, you should like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube, which our tag is @WaitForRealPod. You can find us on social media, and that is @WaitForRealPod. So you can reach out to us there, or you can send us an email. Katie loves emails, and our email is waitforrealpod@gmail.com. You also can send us a text it's in our show notes. There's just a button. You click that, send us something, let us know. If you want to support us financially in any way, and because, it's the season of giving, you can buy us a cup of coffee. There's a link in our show notes. And if we get enough money, we're going to buy a lighthouse.
That's right.
Or a haunted castle. Or honestly, just pay taxes. No, I'm kidding. At this rate, goddamn. Is there anything else that I'm not hinting at?
I think that's it.
No? Okay. Well, then we will leave it as we always do.
Go to therapy.
And don't forget to leave the lights on. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving.